The center is set up by Dr. Kiran C. Patel, and the purpose of the center is to undertake cutting-edge research on sustainability and related challenges of high societal importance, and to promote cost-effective and sustainable solution through its strong research and technology transfer programs. The focus area of CSD are water, pollution and water waste management, energy, climate change and natural resources and ecosystems. So today's talk is very special, and this is one of my favorite areas of work where scientists work with non-scientists, artists, policymakers, etc. So today we have Dr. R Brawin Kumar. He's an early career conservation biologist working on the ecology and conservation of small mammals. Many of you were asking me how does a hedgehog look like? We will soon see pictures of hedgehog. It's already there, okay. And he's been studying the distribution and ecology and status of hedgehogs in Tamil Nadu. And one of the rare researchers to work with local communities, comic artists, and also leather puppetry performers. And he has won several awards. I'm just going to list them. So he's a recipient of Tamil Nadu Environment Award 2016, Tamil Nadu Government Green Champion Award 2022, a special award from Zoological Society London, and Ravi Sankaran Inlaks Research Fellowship Mumbai, and awards from Italy and SERB-DST New Delhi. All have supported his work. He aims to strengthen his scientific work, raise public awareness and build capacity in India for the conservation of lesser known mammals. And his title is Hedgehog Conservation in Tamil Nadu. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Brawin Kumar. Okay. And Falguni, how many minute time? Half an hour? Yeah, 30 minutes.
Good morning, and thank you for the warm welcome. I'm so happy to be here. I am Brawin, native to Kanyakumari. So today I'd like to talk about my conservation journey in the past 10 years, what I have done, and do you have the slide?
Yes. Is it this one?
I think here. Okay. Yeah. So in 2010, I have joined it in a zoo outreach organization. It is there in Coimbatore. So during the time, I started working on some of the mapping area, like GIS mapping. So we want to see where some of the rare animals are found in single location. For example, if you say this particular tarantula we call them Guti tarantula. Not Uti, it's a Guti tarantula. They are known from a single location. So this is how many species they are known from a single location, or they are known to live in a very small restricted area. So when I am doing the mapping work in the initial, in 2010, 2011, I collected a lot of literatures through books, journal articles and direct field visits. We found that there are a lot of species need more attention, not just elephant, tigers and rhinoceros, but there are more species like this Narkandam hornbill, Batakur kachiga, and this Himalayan grey langur that is there in Chamba in Himachal Pradesh. And fish, there are many species that are living in single location, but the population information and the conservation is not yet begun that time. So when I was doing that work, I was impressed by the data lack of, there are some species in south part of Tamil Nadu, that is hedgehog. Those hedgehogs are small animals, and they are living in only few patched areas, but we don't know any data. So these hedgehogs discovered in 1851 by Britishers, and then there were no data, or there is no on-ground field work to find this species. So in 2010-2011, I started collating all the information. Then I tried to do something on the hedgehog conservation. Then later I moved to China to study the Yurchen hare. So hare means it's similar kind of rabbit, but rabbits are different, hares are different. So the Yurchen hares are the endemic species. They are living in the Taklamakan desert in China. So generally when we talk about the species conservation, there are some risks, especially the increasing temperature, especially 1.5 degree Celsius is increased temperature in most atmospheric temperature. So many species shift their distributions. Because of the distribution, there are changes in abundance, and that leads to population decline and extinctions in general. So in China, I studied this particular rabbit. This rabbit called Yarkand hare, and they are small. Kind of a small animal actually. What we are saying is generally small mammal, whichever is less than 2 kilogram, we call them as a small mammal or small animals. So these are small hares. They are living only in the Taklamakan desert in China. So this is a nearly threatened species, and the population is presumed to be less than 1 lakh. And these animals are living in the desert part. So this is the Taklamakan desert. It is 1,20,000 square kilometers. It has 6 unique districts around it. I mean provinces around it. The Xinjiang is one. So when you look at this Taklamakan desert, the central part of the desert full of moving desert, and at the same time this Taklamakan desert is surrounded by 3 mountains. The Tian Shan mountains is a very long mountain, and this is the Karakum mountain, and the Kulin mountain, and the Alton mountain. The Kulin and Alton is somehow connected, but these Karakum and Tian Shan are not much connected. They are very borders. And this Taklamakan desert is one of the only habitat for these hares. The hares are desert animals. They are living to adapt in a kind of a mechanism. They are adapting themselves, like adaptive mechanism. They are living in this desert. And also these animals are not living in the entire full desert. They are living in only the selected patches of the oasis. Oases are nothing but some of the green patches. They are artificial oases and natural oases. So these hares are living in this Korea, Hotan, Yarkand, Kasgar, Aksu, Ugan, Kocha, Charchan. All these are different oasis types. So these oases are one of the major habitat for these hares. So this population is not estimated earlier. So it was presumed 1 lakh, but through my study, I want to know how these animals come from, also where they come from. If they are evolutionarily distinct, we know these animals are very close related with Chinese hares. The Chinese hares are living in the Tian Shan mountain, Kulin mountain, and also in the Karakum mountain. But these particular Yarkand hares are living only in the desert, I mean in the oasis. So my question is to understand why these hares are living only in the desert, why not in the high altitude mountains. So for that, I collected some historical data, how the oasis got expansion. After the industrialization, the rapid growth in the Chinese economy, the more changes happened in the desert. That means the oasis got expansion due to the human population and this necessity of more fruits and vegetables and so many green things. People have started collecting or growing more vegetation around the oasis. So whenever the artificial oases are growing up, this natural oasis started shrinking. So the oasis got expansion in all those areas in 1949, and recent expansions are mentioned in this green one. So this is how the oasis are expansion happening. Also there were in earlier time there were oases in central and the periphery of the Taklamakan desert. These dots indicating they are very old, like 6 AD. That much old oases were there, but recent years there were no oases. All these in the parts, they're all extinct. So then these red dots are some of the historical oases. And these are the sampling populations where I collected some of the non-invasive samples, roadkills and hair pellets and its fecal material through our field surveys in all those areas in the desert. Also, we collected some of the museum data because all time we cannot rely on the field work. Sometimes field work may be difficult to collect as a sample. So we collected some individuals from the field and more from the museum and old historical data sets. And just to go back and what we got is we got to know that the climate change is a major impact on the populations. Also, we know that this early Pleistocene is one of the important period where the animals came from. In earlier time, there were no desert. So during the historical time, here is one of the biggest lake. geologically. So when there is a lake, there is no population of this particular Yarkand hare. During that time, this Yarkand hare believed to be in south part of China. So we did the Maxon modeling and we found that these populations are mostly came from south part of China. I mean, they are forest dwelling animals. They slowly started migration towards this desert. During the time, the desert became more, warmer, and they become, kind of a desert. So the thing is, these are rivers like Hotan, Keria, Yarkand River. All these rivers are one of the primary, important rivers that are originating from Tianzan and Kunlun mountains. So these west flowing rivers and east flowing rivers are one of the major thing for this oasis to flourish. So whenever there's a rain, or actually these are perennial rivers. Throughout the year they are flowing. We may think these are desert, but these rivers always flowing. Why? Because there are high elevation ice cubes, or melting kind of ice things are there, all the hilltops. So whenever the high the ice is melting, throughout the year there is water is coming. When there's water, then only the oasis will grow and flourish. When there's a oasis, then my study species, this Yarkand hare, will live. So we found that in 2030, 2035, there's a huge delay, or huge loss of water due to increasing climate change on the hilltops. So somehow we are related our study through climate change. And now to the hedgehog. So these are hedgehogs. They looks like small in size, like a pin cushion, just like a small coconut. And these are animals. Generally, people think when we check this is roll as a ball, we think like it's something like a plant or something like that. But this is the animals, and they come under the family of Mammaliae. These hedgehogs are very small in size. Generally, hedgehogs 150 to 100 gram. I mean 100 to 150. Maximum it is 200. Their lifespan is 3 to 5 years. When we keep it in a zoo, maybe 6 years. That's it. Next one. So when people generally confuse porcupine with hedgehogs. Porcupines come under rodent family. They are rodent and they belong to rat family. But we look at the hedgehogs, they belong to the insect-eating animals. Insect-eating animals, we know that shrews and hedgehogs are closely related. When we look at this world, we have 17 species of hedgehogs in the world. We have some hedgehogs in Africa, we have hedgehogs in Britain, we have hedgehogs in China, we have hedgehogs in India, and we have hedgehogs in Iran and Arabic countries, Arabian and next. And when we look at in India we have 3 species, right? The red one, the Paraechinus nudiventris, that means South Indian hedgehog. That is, this distribution is Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, and few in Kerala. And the other is Paraechinus micropus. This is the Indian hedgehog. It is there in the parts of Gujarat, Rajasthan, and part of Pakistan. And other is Hemicunus collaris, or we call them collaris, means the ear is so long, so we call them collar hedgehog. So it is there in same like Pakistan India borders. So these are the 3 species we have it in India. So these hedgehogs are mostly insect eating animals. Their teeth pattern is very unique, not same like other like rodents or something like that. Their teeth pattern is very unique. Also, these animals are living only these kind of arid patches and semi-arid areas. 98% of the hedgehog population are not there in Western Ghats, not there in Eastern Ghats, only with the people, only in the urban rural areas. Next one, especially in the grassland areas. So when we look at this picture, this is a historical map. We are calling this hedgehog as Madras hedgehog. Why? Because earlier time Madras presidency was huge. So these hedgehogs noted from all those areas. So people are saying Madras hedgehog, but there's no connection. Now, except Chennai, we have hedgehogs almost in all districts in Tamil Nadu. So in 1871, people reported this hedgehog from Coimbatore, Madras presidency. 1907, they got it from Ramnad. And 1911, they reported from Nilgiri. And there are some areas in plains of South India, Tamil Nadu, 1913. And 1949 from Tirunelveli. 1949 again from Megamalai in Western Ghats. 1970 from Trichy. 2001 from KMTR. 2007 from KMTR. 2030 from Moyar Valley in Satyamangalam Tiger Reserve. 2013 again from Megamalai. 2014 from both the locations from Coimbatore and Tuticorin areas. So we have only these occurrence records, but there are no proper study on hedgehogs, and there is no data. So next one. So we have only little bit data. But when you look at the Kerala, people are saying we have some population, but we are not sure. In Andhra, they are saying we have some population in Nalamala Hills, but they are also not sure. So we don't have any, data of the hedgehogs, especially in India, especially on this species. So these are sign, these animals are very shy. When we touch or when they hear any sound, they roll as a ball. So that is easy for the predators to catch, like the human or hunters, and they will easily catch. They have very sharp spines. When we touch, they poke, blood will come. And they're actually nocturnal. That means they're active only in the night, and the daytime they take rest. They do two different kind of burrows. The first burrow in the daytime nesting burrow. In the daytime, they'll take rest under a burrow. The daytime burrows are not so deep, just 15 to 30 centimeter. That's it. But the nighttime burrows are a little bit more deeper. In the daytime they take rest. Once sun gets down, they'll get active, and they'll go out for hunting. They out for finding the mate, and they mostly in the active only in the evening time till the early morning. So when we touch, they roll as a ball when frightened, and actually they are mostly fighting for the food and mate. They are having very poor eye vision, because evolutionarily these animals are very very long connection with the shrews, and they are similar as shrews, that they are having very poor eye vision, and they are communicating mostly through ears and the nose. These ears are mostly one of the important characters to communicate and sense the surroundings, to catch the prey, and observe the sound and other things. The nose is keep on moving. That the nose is keep on moving all the time to sense the surrounding, the temperature, and also the sound. And this is how they roll as a ball. Next one. So this is a farmer friend. People think, why the hedgehog is a farmer friend? Why? Because these hedgehogs is eating more amount of insects. What I'm saying is more than 1,000 insects they are eating just an hour. When we talk about the bat, we Tamil, we call them vaval. The bat is eating 2,000 insects just an hour. This pangolin eating 1 kilogram of these insects per day. So these are the insect eating animals are maintaining the insect population on balance. When we lost these animals, definitely more insects will come and more diseases, and that's how the thing is happening. So these are the ecologically important species. Why? Because the quality of the habitat is determined through the hedgehog. When there is a habitat with the hedgehog, means the habitat is nice and good enough to carry other species also. So this hedgehog's movement depends on food availability, nest preferences, and habitat. So when we look at this hedgehog, they are most important for the food chain. So these are the estivation behavior. So what is estivation? We know hibernation, because Britain, UK, London, German, all the France, they have hedgehogs. They do hibernation, but our hedgehog do estivation. Why? Because after summer, no food. So what they will do, they will eat whatever they have. They will go topper. They'll go a hibernate state. Estivation state. They go to a burrow. They don't eat anything. They'll sleep for 60 days. That's amazing. And these are the animals, very cute. This I had seen in Tirunelveli in South Tamil Nadu. I thought, this guy died. I thought it's dead. Oh man. So what I did, I took it very, very less weight, just 50 gram. 50 gram, generally 150, but this is 50. I thought it's died. After 5 minutes, I kept then slowly walking. Then I realized that these animals come out of that estivation behavior stage. So their main foods, they're eating 26 different types of insects, cockroaches, earthworms, millipedes, centipedes, grasshoppers, all the small things they will eat. And what are the main predators? Mongoose, foxes, and jackals are the main. Mongoose, foxes, and jackals are the main predators for hedgehogs. Hedgehogs in peril. Why? Because first is lack of data, and the other we need to study them in detail, because we don't have any proper data available. So this is this much the size will be. So to study the animal, we actually 2013. I was doing, actually my primary interest is conservation education. I want to share the knowledge with the people, not about hedgehog, but some other species like pangolins, small animals in our landscape. So during the day, in June 5th, 2013, I was visiting, one college in rural part of Tamil Nadu. One person from a village came to me and said that, Anna, come here. Some animal is there. They have some spine in it. what animal, what spine? I didn't understand anything. So the next day he took me to one village and he told I had seen one animal. It is having spines in it. It looks like a rat, but it is not a rat. Something like he told. At that time I was never, I don't know about that species is exist in India. So I talked with him. Then he took me 2-3 days. We did some random searches. That at that time I don't know how to do research also. Then that guy gave me some idea. You have to go like this, go like this. Then I didn't get the animal. But in the meantime, I developed a questionnaire survey in Tamil and interacted with more than 1,200 people during 3 months, time period. Various districts in Tamil Nadu, like Tirunelveli, Thoothukudi, Kanyakumari. I started interacting with the people, where they had seen hedgehog, how many, and so many details I have collected. In the 3 months, I got some data about how people think, how the animal will be, how the habitat will be. I got some good idea through the people participation. So after some time, I got a phone call from someone say that, you please come and see a hedgehog. It's there. So I rushed my bike and I go there. It's just, a pin cushion. It's just a small animal and it was looking like, it is just sleeping. It's a kind of, I don't know, will the color, will unfold or they'll be like that? How long I have to wait? I don't know. So it's just a moment, myself, the hedgehog, and that's it. That's the first moment I started to start my conservation journey of this animal, and that moment is always in my mind. The first moment I saw the animal, it was so beautiful, and people not know about these animals, so we have to study them. We have to make sure these habitats, the species are protected. So we started our journey. So in 2014-2017 we did some survey in south part of Tamil Nadu. We basically use 2 methods. One is on-ground field work. Second is people-based connection. These 2 methods we used. Both the surveys we used all the 2 techniques. So 58 locations we identified initially to collect the data from the field. So what are the data we collected? The number of hedgehogs, number of the unique habitat, the soil type, the rain pattern, distance from our sighting to the nearby water source, distance from our sighting to nearby human habitation, distance from our hedgehog site to nearby road. So many details we have collected. And we found that after our initial kind of study, we found hedgehogs from all over all the districts like Tirupur, Karur, Tirunelveli, Tuticorin, Tenkasi, Erode, Virudhunagar, Madurai. So many districts we got based on our surveys. And this is how initially, actually earlier time there were no proper picture of hedgehogs. After we started collecting data from people as well as on field, we got some good pictures of hedgehogs. Like this is the backside of the Thoothukudi airport in the grassland patches. And what we are saying, grasslands is very important for the animals. But now the government saying these grasslands are wastelands. Right, so these grasslands are just, people think these are just a cattle grazing area, but they are one of the unique, important area to be preserved and protected, because local community are directly depending on those area. So many medicinal property company are depending on this area. Why? Because so many medicinal plants is there, so many rare creatures like these and fan-throated lizard, pangolins, so many unique species are there in these lowland grassland areas. So if you want to do any research in wildlife, we don't need to go to Western Ghats or Eastern Ghats. Just surround us, just in the backyard, so many things to see. One example is these hedgehogs. So people think generally hedgehogs don't have a tail, but they have a tail. It's just 0.5 centimeter long, small tail, and they have a small nail, and they have underbelly is full of whitish hair in it. And these hedgehogs are insect eating animals, yes, but sometimes they do eat some plants. So we collected its poop, and we undergone microscopic study, and we found that they are eating some insects. Also they are eating some plant materials. So this is our first camera trap image of hedgehog from Tirunelveli in South Tamil Nadu. And this is our first field work. We got 19 individuals of hedgehogs from the field. And later, at the same time, we did carry out, field work with the people. We got so many data. More than 55 locations we got data from the people. So we know that, population is there. But when we go to Google and type Indian hedgehog, no data will come. When you type Madras hedgehog, no data will come, because there's no data. So my idea is we have to bring the data from the field as well as from the people. So that's a 2-dimensional aspect we have used. Basically, we focus on Tirunelveli and Thoothukudi. And next. Also, we did a people-based survey as well as field work in Tenkasi. We found that most of the the taluk, panchayat in Tenkasi, we have good population of hedgehog. In Kanyakumari, yes, we have some hedgehogs, and we have two in the Kanyakumari Wildlife Sanctuary. This is a sanctuary, and we have some population, but we have more population in coastal areas of Kanyakumari. And this is again Salem. We got some individuals, but not much. We are doing now some survey in Salem district. And interacting with people is, amazing. So they are the treasure house of knowledge. The traditional knowledge they hold, they know about the land very much. They know about what is happening, how much they are using the pesticide, how much they are degrading the environment. They know everything, but there's no way. So we are interfering with them to get some information about how they are doing, how good practices they are practicing, how they are close with hedgehog. Is there any relationship? Is there any folklore? So those are things we are trying to document. So in that, what we did, we interacted 1,451 people in some of the selected districts in Tamil Nadu. We found that in one district called Tirunelveli in south part of Tamil Nadu, we interacted 712 people. Out of them, 232 people eaten the hedgehog as a medicine. So it is so pathetic because we didn't not even done any research, but these animals are getting declined. That means the population getting declined. So we have to do something, otherwise the population will go extinct. Like so many species in India extinct. When we look at the extinction history, in last 500 years, 52% of the extinct mammals are small animals, not the bigger ones like squirrels, rabbits, mongoose, rats, hedgehogs. These are the animals extinct in the last 500 years. Right? That is 52% the extinction history. So this is how I want to do some intervention here. People are started collecting as a medicine, as a pet. We want to do something. So I started the survey with the people. I collect a lot of traditional knowledge. I also giving some awareness. So also again, an interesting fact is this person which I interacted 2 years back in. He's basically from Erode district in central Tamil Nadu. And what happened? We given some idea how to protect hedgehog. If you have seen a hedgehog, don't collect it, because in those areas they will collect a hedgehog, they will kill, they will keep as a medicine in the kitchen, dry skin. Just like pepper or sugar, they'll just keep it in a box. Once that finish, then they'll go and collect and they'll keep. This kind of behavior continues. So what I'm thinking is, why you are doing like this? We have to do some alternative things. So I have given some some idea of how we can do, and then he grasped the idea. So recently I met him. He told that now we are not catching. I had seen a hedgehog and I let it go, let them go. I didn't do anything. This is little change happened in one area. And this is, again, a patch is in part of Tamil Nadu where we are interacting with the women, because women are one of the most important part in conservation. When the conservation message, seeded in women means it is going to the community in a very good and decent way. And also it is spreading. So when we look at this IUCN, the International Union for Climate Change for Nature, so they are given the map. This is the map of their distribution based on their data. But what we collected data is mostly from here and here. We can say that hedgehog is there almost in almost all districts. Now we are focusing on the west coast of India, from Kanyakumari to Rameshwaram. And we have to do more on research papers, and so far we published some research papers on its behavior, its ecology. Next. And how people are collecting, why it is traded, how much they are selling, why it is important, how the trade market in India for hedgehog. Most of the hedgehogs are collected and they are going from one state to other state just for medicine. The other thing, live hedgehogs people are collecting and they're keeping it up as a pet. But in India we have African hedgehog pets. There are many shops we can find this African hedgehog pets. But in Indian hedgehogs, especially the South Indian hedgehogs, are transported from one place to other place through various networks. So we tried our best to find, but we couldn't find it. Then this is the first morphometrical data. Next one. Also recently we published a paper about its distribution in South Tamil Nadu, how the population is, and I wrote some random article about hedgehogs. This population is declining, that is for sure. So why is declining? Because hunting, people locally hunting, habitat is getting fragmented, and roadkill. Why the animals is getting crashed in the road? You see the picture. These animals are getting crashed in the road. Generally people think, why this animal coming to the road? Is there anything to do with the road? Yes, these animals need sunlight. They do heat basking. So when there is sun, actually the entire day these animals taking rest. They'll in the rest under the burrow, but they need some sunlight. So every 1 or 2 hours they'll come out. They need some some sun area, like open space. They come and they'll show the belly towards sun. So they'll take some 20 minutes rest. Then they'll go back to their nesting burrow. So during the process, many animals are getting crashed. So in our interaction with various local groups and nature society in Tamil Nadu, we came to know that, after every rain, more than 1,000 hedgehogs are dying in the road. So this is so pathetic. We have to do something. So we are collecting some roadkill data. In some of my village, people are collecting and they are, killing the hedgehog and they kept in the something like hanging because they think that it will give some good omen. And this roadkill happening. And in all the villages, people, keeping this hedgehog as a medicine in the kitchen. So these are the practices they are doing, but population is getting declined. Why? Because there's no awareness. So we also collected some trade data. This is long back. And when we ask about hedgehog, the people are so enthused. They will go inside the kitchen and they'll bring one hedgehog, dry his skin. Oh, see, I have one dry skin. Oh, man. Then we say, no, don't do like that. We cannot immediately say, don't do like that. They'll just, kick. But we have to say in a certain way, through panchayat, through committee, through conservation intervention, through some kind of media, through some kind of posters. That's what we have to do. So this is a guy. He's shown with a dry hedgehog. This is a nearby village. I mean, same person, but the other hedgehog. And this is from Erode district, which we have a lot of data about hedgehogs. So why? Because the habitat is getting vanished. This grasslands is heavily, vanishing. I mean, continuously, getting degraded because of activities by the government, by the different organizations. Because whatever the development has to come in, they are focusing only on the semi-arid area. So India joined now the India Solar Alliance. So many countries are joining partnership with, going for alternate energy. But what they are doing, they are coming with so many solar panels, and they are placing like kilometers in these semi-arid areas. So many mining is there, so many habitat destruction, so many pollution, road kills. And local people are very intelligent. They are training the dog to catch the hedgehog. So, and also, sometimes these hedgehogs are traded within the, state or outside that state. This is a picture I got from Mr. Professor Nami from Kerala Agriculture University. He's shown about the picture, and then I told that in Trivandrum, in my knowledge, there's no hedgehog. There are no hedgehogs. So this may be probably from Madurai, shifted to Trivandrum through some channels. And to do that, what I did, I submitted a policy document to 16 district forest officials in Tamil Nadu. Next. So now forest department started, doing some intervention with the two districts, one in Salem, one in, actually there are two districts they have started, one in Tirupur and one in Pollachi. Two districts they have started intervention, hedgehog conservation initiatives. So based on the, letter that we have given. And communication of science through local language is very important. Why? Because this is some of the posters which made to share with our community, so that some of our community members are able to understand what we are trying to say. Some of them are not understanding. Why? Because they are thinking that researchers means one something they are getting benefit. That kind of attitude is there with our community. So when we are going with the open mind, we are sharing the pamphlets, posters, we are explaining in such a way that they are understanding and they are taking part of our conservation efforts. So this is again another poster which we made. It's saying that just you are you are just my friend, please let me live, don't kill me, something like that. And there are some threats happening, like plastics, road kills, and people are killing this by I mean, they are collecting hedgehog oil in south part of Kanyakumari. I mean, in Kanyakumari it's very famous that whenever you go any Ayurveda shop or Siddha medicine shop, you will get a bowl of or box of hedgehog oil prepared from hedgehog. So recently I talk about this, and the Tamil Nadu Biodiversity Board is going to take some action about that kind of Siddha practitioners. So the Siddha oil is prepared from the hedgehog. It is a very traditional practice. But recent days, due to that, most of the population getting declined. Wherever we go, there's some poachers or some hunters are, ready to collect, and some medicine is coming from these small animals. And, increasing use of the pesticide is again another one issue. These animals are having very, sensitive. If half a kilometer away you are using some pesticide, means it is directly affecting these animals also. Although it is very far away, through the wind, this population is getting, somehow genetically they are getting modified. Already I told that these animals are having very short lifespan, 4 to 5 years. So in an area, this threat is ongoing, but the population is declining, so we have to do something. And also the other thing is these hedgehogs having very, good earring sense. In a study in Poland, people found that in temples we use the big sound system to share the songs and other things. This sound system also making the population moving from one village to another village. One guy studied the PhD thesis how this village and other areas, temples and festivals and sound system making the species in peril because they are shifting their habitat from one to other. And this is some other example of the posters which we made. Next. And also we have to share the information in Tamil, the local language. So when we type in Madras hedgehog, what we get is nothing in Google. Also when we type generally hedgehog means it will directly go to this UK hedgehog, Britain or some hedgehogs in Canada and Australia. Mostly they are, there's no hedgehogs in native hedgehogs in Canada and Australia, but they have some invasive kind of thing. So but we have only limited information. So I am translating more information and we transfer into Tamil and English and it's available in online so that people know what is that what. And also we are continuously writing about these animals in local as well as international newspapers. And in this regard, we prepared a comic book. So this comic book are one of the important thing to educate the kids because these kids usually go out and they kill the hedgehog and other animals which are there in this local area. So to teach them about the science subject is quite difficult, but comic book will do. It's easy to interact. We can just give a copy, they will read and they will understand the thing very easily. So it's an easy way of communication. So some kids are learning through comic books. They're thinking we are thinking it's a very effective way, and people also kids started liking it, and also they are telling what are the characters and So far we have reached out so many. Next slide. Yeah, so we have reached out so many schools and communities through different mediums like community radios. In Tamil Nadu, we have 34 community radios. So we have reached a few, and there are many schools and colleges we are for targeting. And we are not just talking about the things to the kids. We are using new innovative teaching tools like posters, pamphlets, stickers. Like activity-based learning is very important. So if you go and teach, maybe sometimes they will absorb, sometimes they will forget. But if you do any activity linked with the science subject, especially the hedgehog conservation, these kids are more active. They are, sharing what, the things. Also, we are giving some activity to the kids so that, not only we are focusing on hedgehogs, but also we are focusing on other animals in those landscapes. And this conservation is happening in more parts because we are intervention with the community directly, with the school kids, with the, local panchayat level. And recently this happened recently in Erode just 2 weeks back. So forest officials came and the kids asked so many questions. So why does hedgehog come from? Will they release their spines like this, like porcupine? So many questions that kids have started asking. So we have to understand the questions and slowly answer to them. So these kids are actually most of the kids had seen a hedgehog in the landscape. Because they know it's the same condition. If I go to Chennai and ask, because no one knows, they think it's a porcupine. Because the hedgehog is there, these kids are knowing about the hedgehog, so we have to give awareness to them so that at least some population may be protected and safe. And they will ask questions all the time. It's a kind of a fun activity with engaging with the community, engaging with the people, engaging with the students. It's a kind of much fun. Also sharing the science subject. And in some schools in south part of Tamil Nadu, we have hedgehog inside the school campus. Most of our science, South Tamil Nadu schools don't have any compound walls. Mostly, semi-arid areas. These hedgehogs will come. They may stay some time. They will change their habitat. So we made this hedgehog conservation initiative through we call them Friendly Schools Initiative. Through that, we are sharing these steps how we can document. We have given a pen and a notebook with the details, the date. Where you have seen a timing of scene, what about the posture, what was the behavior, it's a topper stage or running, walking or silent, sleeping or dead, what is the condition. So many students written so many details, from many schools we are collecting the data. Now we are collecting all the data from school. So we are getting some positive details from the school kids. So we are following up actually. One school, if you do program means After 2 months gap, we go to the same school and collect some detail. Whether is there any change, anyone motivated and come forward to do something for hedgehog conservation. And this is again school program in teaching about some these things, and some of the local panchayat is helping us in collecting the hedgehog data, and also we are trying to help the kids with some giving some learning kits and all thing. Next one. And mostly fun filled classes, and this is a pangolin, I want to say pangolin anteaters, and in the world we have 8 species, 4 in Africa and 4 in Asia. In Asia, in India, we have 2 species, the Indian pangolin and Chinese pangolin. Indian pangolin is one of the highly trafficked and highly endangered, mostly declining species in India. And this guy had seen a pangolin just a month back. So he's living near. Actually, we are doing research in this landscape, but we didn't see any pangolin. But only indirect evidences we had seen their burrow and their this dry skin. But we didn't see direct live pangolin. But this guy had seen a pangolin, and we have given him a poster. And now he is a pangolin champion in the village. Whenever we go, he will say more about the pangolin, where he had seen. He will share the details with us regularly. And we also interacting with forest officials. Why? Because these forest officials also not aware. They are having so many administration work. They are so, we have organized so many meetings with them. They are so rigid. So breaking this thing is very difficult, because of the administration. They are having this, kind of, rigidity. So we have given some, games, some activity. Next. So that some kind of a discussion, after 2-3 hours they are trying to come to our session fully. So this is kind of a games, this kind of interaction, question answer session, like assessments, post assessment and pre-assessment, impacting is a very giving some kind of impact for in these sessions. And we have shared about our hedgehog conservation details with them, and it's a good to have. So other thing is we have used, the other thing is we are doing one kind of art form. In India, I mean, we have many art forms in each states. We have different art forms. In Tamil Nadu, we have one art form. It is called Tol Pavai Kuthu. It is a traditionally puppet art. This puppet art is a very unique form of puppet art, and only 8 families are doing that in Tamil Nadu as of now. But all the 7 families went away and they're doing some other works. Only one remaining. Only one family is doing this puppet art. So generally they do Ramayanam, Mahabharatam and some epics. But what I did, I went to their home. I have talked with them. Then I know that their poverty condition. I know we have to do something, because this animal is getting declined. This art is also getting declined. So I want to link the art and the animal. So I given some training, a week-long training to them, and given some ideas about biodiversity, conservation, different animals details I have given. So they draw different goat skin puppets, like 25 different animals, like these this kind of a pangolins, and these deers and cats, and so many unique animals that are there in the landscape. So they actually did so many programs, like 16 village programs and 14 school programs in the last 6 months. And now they want to do more programs, because these are the art form getting vanishing. Also this species is getting vanished. So we want to link both. And these puppet art people are basically from south part of Kanyakumari. Next one. So this art form is very engaging with the people in such a way that they are understanding about this species and the landscape and their own traditional art in a good way. And this is very interesting. Some kids are asking questions. If we taking a class in a regular classroom, once we come back after a month and we ask about what we have learned last month, maybe they may forgotten. But with this, through the art form, they are keenly observing, and the following up is very easy. Whenever we do, these kids are actively answering, like what are the biggest animal, what are the hedgehog, what are the animals we had seen in the last puppet. People are easy, and they're sharing so many things. And then so next. So some of the programs we did, and through this some art form. And next one. This is how the skin of puppets looks like. But next one. So next. 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 Yeah. Yes. Okay. Next. Yeah. So in those areas, people, usually they kill the chameleons. So in our concept, we made don't kill chameleons. It's ecological role. We will tell through the puppets. Next. And the school kids are actively participating. So this is a giant squirrel. There are two squirrels. We have Malabar giant squirrel and grizzle giant squirrel. This grizzle giant squirrel is there in very few patches in the landscape, because people actively hunted and now we don't have anything left. So to showcase that, we kept this as one of the important puppet, and it's ongoing. And we are trying to use this art as an important medium. Next. And we also prepared a comic book on pangolins, and this is in Tamil, but name didn't come. And we are working with the local communities on community based conservation and hedgehogs, and a lot of communities are coming forward to help, and we did some awareness programs to the communities, and next, and they are coming up with some kind of a strategy, and we are involving the community in all our aspects. We have to empower. Also, we did some participatory appraisal programs, whether we are documenting these resources. Well, villages having a lot of resources, not only just the biodiversity but so many other resources. So we are documenting properly through scientific intervention, the participatory rural appraisal. And also there are village forest committees there, but most of the committee are not active. So after our intervention, we are activating all the committee, and they are doing some good job now. And I usually do write Chinese, so I written some Chinese articles. And next, and I represented India at the Shanghai Cooperation Organization in 2019, and recently we received an award from Tamil Nadu government. And I'm like to thank so many organizations, and without their support, all the work may be not possible. Thank you for everyone. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Brawin. I didn't want to stop him. I think there will be more questions. I think I think this is really impressive. A lot of work you have done, and I have some questions, but I will wait. I'll ask audience to, if you have any questions, comments. My first thing was, you said Madras hedgehog, and there are no hedgehogs in Madras now. Okay. I think yeah. Why? Because
Rapid urbanization. No forest, only few patches. The other thing is there's no suitable habitat. Earlier there were few suitable, like near SRM University, that area, but now there's no suitable habitat.
I was also telling Brawin that we should find out whether there are hedgehogs in the campus. So next time you come, you tell us how to search for hedgehogs, and we can add that too. And yes, Nilesh, and then.
Thank you so much, sir, for this beautiful lecture. It was so enjoyable and informative. I have two questions. One is related to climate change. How climate change is affecting this mammal, and another is what are the evidences where we can say the pesticide use are impacting their lifespan. As you said, these mammals are particularly seen in village and the semi-urban areas. So that's.
Mic, just check if that mic is here.
So the second question. So the hedgehog, in German and other countries, the people have studied how the pesticides is directly impacting. So these animals are not coming to agriculture area, but they are living near the agriculture boundary, like semi-arid grazing pasture lands. So when these lands are very connected or very nearby, these have direct impact. So when they are pumping or they are using the pesticide regularly in one particular area, definitely it's spreading some other nearby areas also. So this is already done. Some studies done by other countries. So I will share the details with you if I find anything. So the first question about climate change. Yes, these semi-arid areas are mostly, the land pattern cover has changed. So due to the change in the land use land cover pattern, the river drainage pattern also changed, because the high altitude mountains in the Western Ghats are mostly cholla forest in some patches, and because of the changes happened, that is again having impact on the lowland. So when there is more, climate change impact, what I am saying is when there is enough rain, then is okay. We have much of amount to prey and more amount to eat and more good invertebrate possible. There is, when there is less rain due to climate change, then there is no young or micro invertebrates, so that it is directly impacting. The other thing is this habitat is more getting more stringent or more fragmented, so that is again a big problem.
I think this talk is also very important because it's about small mammals. Usually there are research on tigers and elephants, what I call as a subaltern species, whereas small animals researchers don't engage with. And the second thing is about the outreach that he's doing. All of us as scientists, we should. And I would like to thank you for introducing me to this thing, to our speaker, Brawin, because I had followed his work on Facebook. But then Professor Rangarajan's talk is there in the evening. So he introduced me to, it's a coincidence that both of you are here. So Professor Rangarajan.
I should thank you because I am meeting Dr. Brawin Kumar first time. And I'm seeing Hedgehog picture also first time. Actually taking from that, see, I think around 70% of the mammals are small mammals. The rodents, bats, hedgehogs. But our focus culturally and lot of conservation effort is on large mammals. So you think it's because we are fascinated by large creatures which can eat us or which command our attention. I'm thinking just lion, tiger, or let us say elephant, or creature which is a symbol, deer, buffalo. Whereas these small creatures don't capture our imagination quite the same way. So this, since you have very unusual, you are also a scholar of the Yarkand hare, the first scholar of Yarkand hare to my knowledge, and certainly one of the very few Indians to work in China. So you think, societies like China, India, because they are countries with so much biological diversity, should we have a very different focus in taxa terms? So what is the larger implication of your work for not just small taxa-friendly conservation, but a different view of land and waterscapes, which doesn't privilege size? Coca-Cola had a slogan, taste not size, but it seems to me with conservation, size not taste seems. So seriously, why do you think this is so, and what can we do? Yours is very, very remarkable effort, but what's the larger picture? What is the implication for the larger picture? This is really related to the chess.
So when we look at in China, the way they perceive the things is very different than us. Actually, when I was in the Institute of Zoology, they have 47 laboratory. 50% labs are mostly focused on ecology, evolutionary biology labs only. Remaining are microbial, mycorrhiza, microbiology, something like that. 50% of the lab in our institute are mainly focused on evolutionary, phylogeny related things. So most of them, their study organisms are only rodents, hedgehogs and shrews and very, very small mammals. And 2 years back, every year they have their own this animal kind of thing, like Chinese. So pig is coming, like rats coming, shrews coming, all these small animals also, they're part of the thing. The other thing is, larger picture, when you look at this, I traveled so many areas, provinces in China. In my understanding, they have a huge, big vision. They want to study all the small mammals in all the aspects. How the evolution come from? Is there anything there we can link our societal thinking and our evolutionary thinking through the rodents? So they are studying all the things in detail, not just in one aspect phylogeny, but also disease aspect, and also their morphological, genetic, also all the aspects they are studying. But in general, the study system is a kind of they are just trying to promote all the species they have. They have more than much number of mammals than Indians, like India. So the perspective is they are mostly focused on how to conserve these animals. We have to study them in detail in the lab and in detail through the different computer setups and through different software. So their larger picture is to make sure these forest and landscapes are more fragile with the two-dimensional. People also support from the forest, also the animals have to live, some kind of thing only. Same like India. So, but in an Indian thing, yes, it's right. Mostly charismatic, the tigers, leopards, elephant is so big and so nice and looking great. But the hedgehogs are not looking that much great, some of them, not me. So this kind of attitude need to be changed. The other thing, there's a bigger picture is the vanishing area, the vanishing semi-arid area in our landscape. In past, just 100 years before, there were 10 million of palmyra trees from Kanyakumari to Rameshwaram. So when there were a lot of palmyra trees, that time Britishers developed this reserve forest, palmyra reserve forest in Kudirimuli, that is red sand dune area in part of Tiruchendur to Tirunelveli, Thuthukudi areas. So when there were a lot of large amount of palmyra trees, then there are a lot of the trees, the leaves will fall down, there's hedgehogs hiding under, and it's a huge habitat. When there's urbanization, human growth, and more industrialized, this habitat getting fragmented and vanished. So we need to protect some habitat, we need to do some kind of restoration, we have to protect some patches through community based approach. Only that areas will work, because the forest intervention may be less, but the community have to come up and we have to set up some kind of a community protected area in some areas, maybe in a larger scale. Then maybe that would be nice to have. But in my understanding, the grasslands are getting vanished. These animals are living only in the semi-arid savanna grassland kind of areas. So these areas are getting more quality wise they are decreasing. So we have to do more intervention on habitat restoration so that these species will be exist.
Thank you.
Hello. Yeah, you mentioned that, as far as my understanding goes, this particular species does not have so much of cultural relationship with the local people, except that they use it as a medicine. And also, you told them to stop using it as a medicine, or you told them to stop hunting it. So my question is that, the first is, what is the alternative that you suggested to them? If they stop hunting and if they stop using it as a medicine, what is the alternative you suggested to them? And the second is, how much that alternative or that suggestion is being accepted by the people, and how do you convince the people to participate in the conservation process? Again, as I to come back to the first point that I made, there is no so much of cultural relationship with the people. So how do they, if there is no cultural relationship with the people, how do they come up and conserve this species? Yeah, thank you.
So these hedgehogs are used by people for medicine, that's for sure. So initially we are not saying stop hunting. Initially we are saying these are one of the important aspects. We have to keep it, these animals numbers to be stable. We don't want to collect too much, sustainably is fine. But in some areas, people are continuously collecting. In those areas in Tirupur, Erode, in south part of Kanyakumari, people are collecting. What alternative we have? People are collecting these because they are getting some kind of fun, right? Then they are thinking these have some medicine value. But according to my understanding and our research, these animals don't have any medicinal value. Just a protein, that's it. So now they want some kind of flesh, right? So they are going out and they're hunting and collecting, not just a hedgehog, but also other animals like hares and other things. So we are giving some alternate saying that instead of this, you try to use some English medicine or some Siddha, other plant-based medicine. They are using for asthma. They're using for knee-based medicines, knee pains and other things. They're using this hedgehog as a, chronic arthritis, for the things they are using. So for that, you try to use some other oils, and we are trying to recommend try to use this and not to use this hedgehog-based, hedgehog based oils and this thing. The other question.
How did you convince them to participate in the
we are not actually convincing. We are just sharing the species knowledge to them, actually. And they are actually, the way we communicate, the way we include them in our studies, the way they are coming up. So we are going to them. We are the much open we are, the much they are coming in, I think. That's it.
Yeah, I was also wondering, because I think conservation sometimes is driven by single individual, committed individual like you. You have passion for the topic. You love what you're doing. You have this rare skill of communicating the larger audience. Not many conservations can do that. So sometimes this conservation model can work in particular place. What if you have other commitments and someone else can? So that is something I feel in conservation that can work in some places because of individuals commitment, their lifetime commitment on one particular landscape and species. So, but thank you. We need more individuals, scientists like you. Ankita?
So, sir, you mentioned about tol pawe kuta, and as far as I know, tol means skin, and even in Kerala, they use the skin of certain animals. So, and educating them through such an art form that actually uses such a material of the animal skin. So, how does the community of artists and how do communities, I mean conservationists and wildlife educationists like you grapple with such a conversely, yeah, I yeah, so it comes as a dichotomy somehow.
Yeah. Thank you. So these people are, using these skin puppets. He have shown. Actually, they are preparing only one time. They're using for 80 years. It will remain for 80 years. It won't tear off. It will be there. Also, the color pattern they are using only natural dyes. The natural dyes, once they use, they'll remain. They'll not go shad, and they will remain like that for 80 years. So it's a one-time investment. They're going to reuse, and we prepared 25 goat skin puppets. So the goat skin puppets we got from the market itself in Nagarkoil. So the question is right. We are doing conservation, but we are collecting these kind of things. So respect to the art form is like that only. So somehow we are doing that, but you have to say something.
No, I was saying that there are different ways of looking at it. We are talking about domesticated animal versus wild animal. And then, you're looking at art form. People may ask that, have you suggested alternative? People are looking at animal as a whole, but then within animal conservationists say that, there are domesticated animals which can be farmed and consumed. And people who work closely with animals, the relationship with animals also pragmatic. It's both worshipping. The same goat is also worshipped and sacrificed in the temple. You eat the meat, give it to ancestral worshipping, and the meat is sold in the market. So, looking at animals through conservation is through preserving that animal so that it doesn't get extinct. But you look at other forms of human-animal relation with communities. That is very pragmatic, because this is dependence on animal. We all consume goat milk. People will ask that is also cannot be. So there are levels of ethics, and also in how do you view animal in what form. For some people, some animals are very sacred, not to be, so some animals are consumed and farmed. But I was wondering, in some places, I don't know, are these animals farmed? Is farming a solution? These are debates that are happening. But then having animals in wild habitat is very important. So thanks for the question. If you want to ask.
See, I am very struck. You said this Palmyra was there in large area. So southern Tamil Nadu, 120 years ago, large semi-arid areas are there with Palmyra. But the major product of the Palmyra was not only the thatch and the nunga, the fruit, but also the toddy. And the toddy tappers were a very exploited section of the society. They were denied education, dignity. This has seen a lot of changes. So I'm trying to reverse it. Since it is the state tree of Tamil Nadu. Tamil Nadu is unusual, it has a state tree. Should the landscape itself have value in a certain sense? What is the ecological, cultural significance of the landscape as a productive landscape in itself? See, it may not give the toddy, which of course is a lot of money in that toddy trade and all that, but one is to look at the hedgehog. So just as 50 years ago, there was a big change in attitudes in India, and government which used to see forest as a wasteland to clear and put agriculture, started seeing forest as ecologically important for water and whatever. So can we change the way that this semi-arid landscape is looked at? And in these areas, can Palmyra be a symbol of that? See, for instance, just thinking lots of Palmyra trees may increase carbon sequestration or whatever. So I'm just thinking, because I was very struck by, so why did British create those Palmyra reserves? So are they still intact? Are some of them still there? Can they be a core of something different?
just a few patches are intact. And now recently, many NGOs are doing this, palmyra plantations. I mean, forming in small grassroots NGOs are doing like 35 NGOs, throughout Tamil Nadu they're doing. Wherever the plantation means, they go always all these, they'll go with the palmyra seeds. And they now are starting up. And fragile few fragments are there in south part of Tamil Nadu and few parts in Rameshwaram. But Britishers earlier time they formed because they want to get some revenue out of it. That's the first thing. But there is nothing related with ecological sensitive things, I don't know. But now it is very important we have to revive that kind of habitat to be there. Then only so many species like hedgehogs and other habitats will perform a better function. These ecosystems are not functioning. So now we have to do this ecosystem to be functional. So we have to restore as much as habitat we can.
Hello. Thank you for the presentation. So I just have a question. So when you say that the conservation activities that you undertake, like creating awareness and reaching out to the communities and all those things, so how far are you seeing citizen science as a part of it? Because like when you say when you're dealing with small rodents and which is of least concern as defined by law, and which largely the distribution falls outside the protected areas, so only a handful of scientists cannot take it forward in the picture. We need more evidence-based citizen scientists coming into the picture to say, for example, simply to increase the legal protection of the species. So how do you see citizen science into it, and what is the role of those things? Thank you.
So now we are preparing a website exclusively for hedgehog. Like it's a kind of an app which we are preparing. So through that, people, wherever they are citing a hedgehog, they can enter the data. And also there are a lot of data available online. So we have collected all the data. Now we have 458 occurrence records, out of which maybe 10% may be from us, my team and my volunteers and my mentors and collaborators, but remaining 90% from the outside people like common citizens. So we are collecting, we are running the project continuously. We are having interns. Recently we started our data collection from the people in Sivaganga district and Ramanathapuram district, and we are going to start our data collection with the Tirunelveli and Tenkasi areas again through interns. Few interns came already. So citizen science platform is okay, but through app based or through direct one-to-one conversation, that is the first thing. So at present, due to financial issues, we haven't started the app thing. We are still in the planning stage. It will come in end of this year or beginning of next year. But this one-to-one kind of data collection from the citizen is ongoing through our volunteers, and we have collected a lot of data. We are entering in a common shareable Excel sheet, and we are ready to collaborate with other institutes like WII or NCBS and other institute to collaborate further, and we have to take this forward so that these animals will get more data will come, so that more policy level changes will come. As of now, these animals are not in the Indian Wildlife Protection Act. So also these animals are listed as least concern, but it should be somewhere in vulnerable or at least near threatened category. So there should be a lot of things we have to do. We have approached the Tamil Nadu Forest Department, and we are going to meet with Tamil Nadu Chief Secretary Supriya Saha IAS. So we are constantly putting our effort to do something to protect the species or the habitat in those areas. So citizen science is a major important, but we are doing that.
So Brawin will be here till 5:30 or 3 o'clock. No, 5:30 you have to leave. So students and other, we can all interact with him. What we are trying to say is you may start working with one species, but the impact is that you think about the larger ecological system, and science is not only for research publishing papers, but also it has to go to public. And through participation and citizen participation, we can make a difference. So that's what you're doing, and continue to do the good work. Thank you so much. But thank you so much. Let's thank Brawin. And one announcement at 6 o'clock, we have a talk by Professor Rangarajan. It's in the academic block 1, I think, but it's 6 o'clock, so all of you are welcome. So thank you so much, Bravin, for this wonderful talk.